You did a take where you kissed Pedro's forehead.
Yes.
And it didn't make the final cut.
No, I was nervous after we did it because I thought he was going to fucking hate it. So I nervously go over the radio being like, Ridley, did you like the kiss on the forehead, yay or nay? And there was this kind of like, I'm afraid I did. Director's cut.
The director's cut.
Yeah. The forehead cut.
Yeah,
I mean, people would pay good money for that forehead. You just clip and stuff. If you were to Google Gladiator II reviews right now, the main thing that would be coming up is Denzel Washington Oscar buzz.
I think it's a testament to how good the cast is. Pedro, he delivers. Those nutty twins are brilliant. Paul, I could only imagine, and I'm sure you're talking to him, the pressure he must have felt, coming in. But he delivers. Ridley is a genius at casting. He's a genius. He's a genius. And as I've said earlier today, and thank you for what you said about me, but as I said, I'll go anywhere he asks me to go because what you see of me up there is more of what he did than what I've done.
Do you anticipate certain feelings of sentimentality and nostalgia, experiencing that over again in a way?
I sure did, even walking onto the set myself. I felt as if I was expecting to see Russell and Joaquin there, for sure. It was like that.
Is there almost a relief to you, given the early reactions, or did you always have just nothing but faith going into it?
I definitely had faith going into it, but we were all sort of very aware of the sort of stakes. Mm-hmm. We were aware that this was an important film to get right. And at the same time, though, we also were just feeling like it was such an incredible experience to be on set. And when you were kind of like done with some of those scenes, you were like, those are good scenes. Yeah. And when you can feel that there are like a few key scenes that they clinch, it feels as if like, oh, now there's like this, the mechanism is starting to roll off.
So I'm going to be completely honest with you right out the gate here, okay?
Great. Love honesty.
When we were planning the junket, we were throwing around ideas, my boss said, quote, I want to hear a good monkey story.
I can deliver on this. So it's a real monkey. Her name, the character is Dundas, but she's played by the monkey actress Sherry, who is, I believe, a real star, and I think anyone that sees the movie is going to feel the same way. So I look forward to Sherry's entire career. I hope next junket you're also talking to her. But it was really, I mean, it's those things, like you can never imagine or predict each step of making a movie. So I arrived a few weeks early and started training with her so that we could be comfortable with one another. And by the time that stepped on set, we sort of operated as a unit together. Paul was doing his gladiator training and I was doing monkey training.
Yeah. That's perfect. Joseph and Fred and Matt Lucas. Like there was a lot of like surprises, Was there anyone in particular?
The monkey.
Dundas is
Dundas,
gonna stick with that guy for the rest of his career.
He tried to stick with me. I think he could figure it out. He's like, man, I gotta get out of here. He could smell it.
Was there anyone in particular where you were just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that? Like that person really came to play.
The monkey.
Yeah.
No. Again, the twins were brilliant. It was just fun, Ridley makes our job easy and creating an entire world that all we had to do was populate and inhabit our roles.
There's so many performances that caught me off guard. Were there any that when you saw that caught you off guard as well? Where you were like, they brought it.
Alex, who plays Ravi, is a really
Alex was out of the blue.
Yeah,
from Norway.
He blew me away. Yeah, because obviously, the talent of like obviously Denzel blows you away every single day on set and with every performance. But I think the relationship between Lucius and Ravi is one that I think is really strong. In
the quiet of Ravi is wonderful.
Yeah, and he's funny.
Very quiet and funny character. Yeah.
The odds are against you.
The odds are always against me.
Russell Crowe has been saying that he has kind of complicated feelings about this sequel. So I was wondering, if they were to make a Training Day 2 today without Denzel Washington, how would you feel?
I'd be fine with it. Yeah,
Yeah?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. No, not at all.
Would you be interested in having discussions surrounding, or would you want to be involved at all, or would you be like,
Probably
I'm
not. No. Well, first of all, there's 25 years between Gladiator 1 and 2.
Right.
I hope to be around, but I'll be 70 in 2 months. So 25 years from now, I don't know. I just hope to be around.
We've seen you throw the F down with a gladius sword in Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like, in a way that people are pretty crazy about,
I do love myself a little stoned here and there.
So I gotta ask, was there any sort of disappointment that you couldn't like F some people up,
The fact is that there's just no way that a conservative Roman family would have ever allowed or even wanted to have a woman in the ring, and I really sincerely doubt that Lucilla ever would have wanted to go into the ring, because to her it's abhorrent. It's an aberration in her society that she disagrees with. She understands the role of it in society, but she does not agree with it. Whereas for the Queen of Themyscira, the sword is the way of life, and it is the only way of life if you want to protect a community of women. Mm-hmm. And so, it's just about where is the character at. And, the Queen of Themyscira has that delicious fighter in her that I certainly love. For Lucilla, she is a fighter of the soul. She is a fighter with ideas, and she uses dignity as her shield.
You're so effectively good at throwing the best tantrums in this movie, which I thought was kind of funny, because right now there's a White Lotus clip going around on TikTok where you're throwing a tantrum about an iPad.
My iPad got soaked. It's fucking ruined. And now what the fuck am I supposed to do?
So that's so. I mean,
Tantrums abound.
Did you take any of that with you, and how did you prepare for the brattiness of it all? You know what I mean?
It's interesting. I find every character ends up becoming their own person. So I must admit, I just in the process of committing to who you're playing, I kind of forget. It just feels like the fears and all the things. It feels like the first time every time. So you just forget that anything else has ever happened. But I do think Caracalla is. I mean, I think both Gaeta and Caracalla are. They have a desperation. They have a real need that's been completely unmet for. They want to be like taken care of somehow, and that doesn't help or positively affect how they're ruining the empire, since they are leaders. But I think there's a part of him and a part of them that just want to be sort of held.
I read that you kind of discovered Paul via normal people,
Sure.
right? Have you thought about working with Daisy in the future? And is that
I
something?
have indeed, yeah. And indeed I did.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. We circle the wagons on that one. Yeah, we positioned it for something.
Yeah.
For a moment. She may not like this. She reminded me of a young Deborah Winger.
She's so like. I think you two would work really well together.
Yeah, if you brought both of them in,
Yeah.
the entertainment industry would just shit themselves. I don't even think we'd be ready for that. There's a lot of like internet heartthrobs in this cast, So I was wondering if they inducted you into the secret club for internet boyfriends.
Yeah, Sherry should be in the club too, though.
There you go.
think.
You're a good co-star, man. You're really supporting Sherry's career. There's a ton of pretty bonkers moments with you and Joseph. I'm wondering if there was any that didn't make the final cut where you're like, oh man, we did some weird shit that they did not throw in
Oh, that's
there.
such a great question. There definitely is stuff. The way that Ridley works is he works really fast, so you don't do that many takes, and in that regard, a lot of it is there. But there's also a lot of chaos, so I feel like, and a lot of freedom in a way to feel like you can really play.
This is war! Real war!
Caracalla talks about him strangling his fallopian tube. He said, "Oh, you can remember that?" He said, "Yes, I can." I think he was damaged. He was definitely a forceps baby.
Oh.
And I think the other one, we used to have a scene of who came out first. So last out, in fact, he was begat first. So there's a kind of scene there that would have been quite funny where they constantly argue about who's begat first.
Yeah.
So if I am the first begat, so I'm the last out.
Yeah.
I see. That's why we need that director's
That's what,
cut,
exactly.
man. All this stuff, the forehead cut. I can't wait.
Yeah.